All right, welcome back to the next installment of Panzer Campaigns Tunisia 43, the End in Africa turn limit modified scenario. That is a mouthful. Here we are, it's the end of the would be dusk turn, and I have moved all of my units. So I want to do a couple of things in this video. First, I'm going to do kind of like a recap overview of each individual unit. I'll do that quickly. What I want to look for is particular spots that I think are going to be either troublesome or not during the night fighting. Overall, I'm bad at night turns. I tend to want to move my guys and attack with them and everything. So I try where I can to avoid doing that, but I know that there's going to be some fighting during the night. So that all being said, let's give a quick look. The French Africa Corps, they are going to be engaged at night, but I have probably the capability to move them out of direct fire position starting with the next turn. If I wanted to do that, I really should have done it during the dust turn. And this is kind of what I'm talking about with how I play, is that like I shouldn't do this as much, I guess, is that I'd leave guys quite close to the front. But I feel like in a lot of places I've positioned my units to be like it's not going to be great, but pretty survivable and not too heavily engaged, or not heavily engaged at a disadvantage, I should say. Minus this position on the varsity flank over here. They're up against multiple entrenched. These are Italian units, so they're not as powerful, but they are entrenched, and they're pinched in by mines. Over here, we did kick out these bunkers, so these guys are safe, and I'm happy that they're there for the night turns. They'll be able to rest too, which is good because they've got some fatigue. Um, all right, so over here we have Red Bull and First Armored. They're in a pretty good position. There is some fatigue over here. Some of these armored vehicles are pretty heavily fatigued now that I'm looking at it. Some not so bad, but basically they're up against entrenched. This is a 334th Infantry. It's less than 100 men. They're already disrupted. There are some paratroopers here, but they're partially disrupted. They're kind of jacked up already. So oh, and I have this row of mines separating them. So like the bulk of the oh, I don't have my tool. Hang on. It's called Epic Pen, in case anybody was wondering. Is how I draw on the screen. They have a free version, which is what I use. So, oh, right. So this row of mines here protects like a bunch of these troops over here, and I can just hold this front and prepare for my dawn assault. So yeah, that will be good. And over here, west of CD Nasir, or I don't know what CD, I guess this is the name of this town here. West of CD Nasir, like this is not super. These guys are at least entrenched, and these guys up on the hill, they're in a clear hex, but they're low fatigue, and they're not threatened by anyone except for this unit of infantry from the 334th, which is already disrupted and below 100 strength. All of this is good. This section here with some of my core units and my whatever battalion this is from, or the 168th Infantry Regiment, they are up against entrenched troops, so that's not great, but I think it's manageable at least. First Division, they're in kind of a gnarly position. I think I'm going to pull this unit back, this battalion, from the 26th Infantry Regiment, even if it results in their disruption, because I don't want them sitting in a minefield facing off against two entrenched companies of infantry. Over here, I'm looking at the 78th Infantry Division. They're actually almost fully disengaged, which is great. So I don't have to think about that. I have the 4th Infantry and the 25th Tank Brigade. Make a quick modification of my notes here. So they're not bad. Yeah, actually, this is pretty good. They do have this 88, which won't be able to fire overnight because of the visibility. A disrupted unit of paratroopers. I do have this recon unit over next to this entrenched. This could be up to battalion size. I might want to... I shouldn't have moved them up, honestly. I wonder if I can withdraw either of these guys. I can withdraw the tanks. And I'll just risk it with the recon. I don't want them just sitting there engaged with entrenched paratroopers. This bunkered up unit. Oh, I've formed this nice little line here with the 4th Infantry Division. This is, I think I've got a couple of different regiments in here. So beds and Hertz. Don't know what that means. 2nd DCLI, Duke of Cornwall's light infantry, probably. So yeah, I've got a couple of different regiments represented over here, as well as some armor. They're holding a line that is basically keeping a concave and keeping our flanking options open for tomorrow morning. Yeah, it's a good position to be in over here. There is like a slight gap, but nothing's getting through there. I highly doubt it. So this is all good. These units are entrenched. I've got guns. Oh yeah, the 46th Infantry really cleaned house. There's nothing in between them and the next objective. This trench over here, probably. We did get a nice movement of the armor battalion for the, what is this, the 6 armored? Let's look at that right quick. Got the 26 Armor Brigade and the, oh, where is it? I think it's just the 26 Armor Brigade. Yeah. Plus recon. These recon units here, which are just attached directly to the division. So yeah, we've got a nice solid flank on this side. Oh yeah, some more recon over here. This is part of the... Oh, interesting. I brought them from the 46th. Oh yeah, that's okay. I wanted to keep these guys from the 46th. It's alright for... In my opinion, it's fine for those recon units to be detached and kind of scooting around, looking around. Okay, no direct encounters here. I have myself set up for morning engagement here, but they'll be resting overnight, which is kind of a shame because these guys don't actually have a lot of fatigue for the most part. The 7th Armored, they're engaged up this hill, and this is pretty... I don't love this, but it could be worse. So 1st British Infantry, they are engaged in some spots, but overall they're like uphill or in bunkers, so that's in good shape. The Moroccan Division, I did make some progress with the Moroccan Division actually. We just went in for assaults and like it worked on a couple of spots, so I'm happy about that. The Indian Division, this regiment here is going to hang out. They're not engaged. The Highlanders and the Indian Division over on the western flank of the 8th Army is going to be... They're in pretty good shape. I think I'll probably withdraw this battalion here, but otherwise they can just kind of stick around. The Highlanders on the kind of middle section of the 8th Army, they'll be engaged, at least partially, along with the Royal Dragoons or whichever one these guys are. Yeah, they'll be engaged along this hill. We did make it up the hill, so that's great. We have the high ground on them, and we are in a trench and another trench. They do still have this bunker. It's isolated, and we do have them pinned in. Although I didn't love this movement that I made for this battalion from the Highs, or the Gordon Highlanders, I guess, because they could get potentially flanked from over here, and I suspect that's going to happen. And if that does happen, or if the Italians counterattack from this trench and across this stream, they're going to be in a real tough spot. We don't have direct access to them from basically any position because they were up on top of this hill, and any movement that wants to get up this hill is either going to have to go through this occupied bunker or up the hill, which is going to take at least one turn. Plus, it's night. It's not looking good for those guys, so hopefully they'll be able to hang out and not get flanked and pinned in and annihilated. Um, so let's see what else. Yeah, the whole Eighth Army is, well, I mean, when you break it down at like a unit to unit level, it's not that bad. It's actually pretty good. Thinking back about what movements I made in here, yeah, okay. So we'll be in pretty good shape over here. And that's it. I'm going to run the turn, so we'll watch and see what the AI does. And then I'm going to look at my artillery. So we'll go ahead with it. All right, so we start with the artillery. I'm going to close these side windows so that I make sure I see everything that's going on. Oh, yeah. That battalion from the Highlanders, they're under direct fire from a... I don't know what this is. Some kind of gun. More artillery. They're shooting at my AT guns over here. No effect. That's good by me. One gun. Okay. Well, I had a lot of guns over there, frankly. Kind of spreading the artillery around a little. No effect. I like that. Got some fatigue against my artillery. They got one of my vehicles. That's not super. Here they come with their direct fire. Counter fire from my artillery. Nice shooting. Got one of their guns. Shooting at my machine guns. The engineers. I really hope that one of those engineers can stay undisrupted and clear that minefield. Moroccan division taking fire. I spot trouble in the Moroccan division. Oh, here comes the varsity HQ taking fire. Artillery. Ugh, they got a disruption against my core artillery. The American 2 Corps. 2nd Corps. Okay. More against the headquarters. That was a good hit. These guys are already disrupted. How about you leave him alone? He's got crazy fatigue, like 254 fatigue. I really hate sometimes how the AI just like, it gets the intercept and it just zeroes in on your HQ and just annihilates it with artillery. And it's like, okay, well, that's just kind of annoying. They are making, as of today, I read the patch notes recently for the new 40502, I think it is. Whatever is the next version to come out. The preview said that wireless intercept will be an optional rule, and frankly, I don't I don't love that rule. I mean, I guess it would be okay, like, if the enemy AI didn't brutalize your headquarters. So here the enemy is doing their movement. They are getting intercepted by my air power. AI is thinking and moving stuff behind the scenes. They're shuffling units around. I can see them. Oh, they've got. Oh, okay. Hmm. The engagement with the 6th Armored that. Oh, man. They're kind of moving up with some infantry in awkward positions for me. That's not super. I don't have anything covering those AT guns right there. I didn't expect them to do that, but here we are. We'll see how I can work that out. But yeah, the position of the 6th armored battalion is threatened. They've got a bunch of guys coming down this highway towards the 8th Army. A lot of machine guns, and I saw recon cars in there. I got them with my anti-air. Alright, enemy is starting direct fire. I'm not happy about it. Let's see how it goes. Good counterfire there. No effect versus, let's see, 5 men. Yeah, way better fighters from the U.S. Second Corps. More artillery on that same HQ. Broke the headquarters, so that's great. They're hitting my more of my artillery. That position that was exposed in Sidi Nasira was a little bit of a gamble, I feel like. They did hit us with some direct fire. I think it was an 88. It'll be night soon enough. Alright, so our artillery, counterfire. Good, more counterfire, counter battery fire. I don't know if that technically counts if it's shooting at artillery that's shooting at, or shooting at infantry that's shooting at my infantry. Ooh, 18 men? Dang, that was good. Let's see how this goes. It's about even, I feel like, for the 1st Division over here. This battalion that's up front in the minefield, they're having a tough evening. Alright, more artillery. Shooting at my engineers. Shooting at my infantry. Good, counterfire by the machine gun, though no effect. There goes 1 man. More enemy artillery. They're gonna chop up my recon. 88s are firing at my tank. No effect, good. The paratroopers are moving. More artillery. More direct fire. I'm in a good position over here with the 7th Armored. We're pushing south directly with them to try to flank the road to Point Dufas, the Highway 4. Alright, our artillery at the Highlanders and at the New Zealand Corps. I got some of my guys out here in travel mode. Just a lot of artillery. They got a disruption against my machine gun, so that's not good. They're shooting at my infantry some more. Indian Division. These guys are not in any threat because that's a disrupted unit firing uphill. The Highlander, the exposed Highlander Division is again under direct fire from a gun. Okay. More artillery. They have these bunkered up units over here. I had this group from, which is it? This is the 1st Armored? Yeah, the 1st Armored from the 8th Army. They were isolated, and I had to move an engineer up to be able to extract them using the can move through zone of control to a friendly adjacent hex rule. So I did that, and that worked out pretty well. It looked dicey for a second. Here we're doing more direct fire. Good. Counterfire with the machine gun. Shooting at us from bunkers, that's not good. They'll probably nail that engineer again. They're already disrupted. Good counterfire with the tank. No effect though. Moroccan Division under artillery fire. Doing their fighting. No effect, no effect, one man kind of thing over here. It reminds me of the fighting of like the border guard units in France 40. Like the German border guard versus the Dutch border guard. It's pretty uneventful. Makes you appreciate the differences in capabilities between professional soldiers and, like, I don't know, organized police. Right now, more direct fire. The Highlanders are getting shot at, but they're in a pretty good position uphill. In a trench. Ooh, nice. Counterfire disruption. We needed that, kind of. Ooh, they're shooting at me. Ugh. Honestly, I need to pull those guys out, even if it disrupts them. The position seems untenable. In a minefield, getting shot at from a bunker in a trench. The Indian Division is supposed to move up and get there, but it's going to take them some time, at least until, midday tomorrow. So I don't really have a plan. I kind of do. We'll see how the Moroccan Division shapes up. Lots of fighting to be done still. This will be turn 4? Turn 5? Yeah, turn 5. Alright, so we're still just doing direct fire over at the Moroccan Division right now. Same thing, not a lot of action. One man, no effect. More shooting at guys from bunkers. That's the 50th Infantry. '50th Infantry, 50th British. More direct fire, not a lot of action here, just kind of skirmishing, getting a lot of no effect and low kills. Nice counterfire against that bunker, no effect though. Three men that time. Oh, hit him with the artillery, no effect. Okay. It's a good position on this bunker over here on Highway 1. We've got a lot of guns aimed at them. It'll be dark, so we won't be able to shoot them, but come morning, we're cracking that nut. Here, the New Zealand light tanks are engaged with some half-track. Oh man, they got one of them and got a disruption. Well, their job was to hold that flank and keep that position kind of occupied while the rest of the infantry moves up. I don't know if I'll be able to hold that with a disrupted unit all night. We'll see how that goes. Especially, I don't want to throw my tanks away just getting killed by recon units. Oh, we got a nice disruption and a hit against some of their infantry up on this hill in the 7th Armored Division section. Oh yeah, we're ripping them up. Here come the paratroopers. This is their infantry that they moved up. I'm really not thrilled about that. I want to hit them hard with artillery as much as I can. If I had air support, I would... Night makes everything really tricky in this game because the night disruption with movement and everything, like I have infantry right there, but I can't move them up unless I want them to be disrupted. And maybe I just have to take that on the chin and accept that as a risk of being poorly prepared and laid out and learn a lesson of not leaving a bunch of AT guns exposed on a hill, which is really stupid. They're shooting me up pretty bad right now. They're getting some disruptions on me. Keep it together, but yeah. That unit, that recon from the 4th Infantry that I expected to get disrupted, or at least attacked, got attacked and disrupted, so that's not great. Looks like my engineers will be able to make it through in the section of the, what is that, the 78th Infantry? Yeah. 1st Infantry Division from the US 2 Corps, 2nd Corps. They are getting shot up, but they're doing okay. They are in the broken terrain there. It's the same as forest for purposes of fire reduction effect. I do feel like in general a lot of the units in the Allied army outclass a lot of the units in the Axis army in this scenario. That's not universally true, but yeah, this does seem like the Allies had the upper hand, at least in terms of fighting power at this time, at least as represented in this game. So they're trying to disrupt my engineers, but they're not making any progress, and they're taking counterfire from my tank destroyers that are positioned right there. Don't mess with my engineers, man. We got a disruption against you. Yeah, hit him again. Another 6 men. Perfect. That unit from Red Bull, which I put out on that hill. Ooh, they're getting shot at from the 88s. They did get some of them. Ooh. Well, wasn't ideal. I did expose that unit. They're in a good position though, aside from the fact that they don't have any cover. Oh, nice. We got the second disruption up there on Varsity's level, or Varsity's area. I did assault this bunker with the French Africa Corps. So it's a real bummer that that didn't get through. So now we're stuck fighting at night with all these guys. I think we're getting close to the end here. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so I'm going to perform my ritual here, and I'll probably pause the recording for just a second. Boop. Okay, let me hit pause, and then we'll review the end of turn and proceed with organizing the artillery. All right, so looking at the command report, I've got a bunch of mines cleared. I did quickly tab through these, and overall I would say that the mine situation is looking way better, so that's great. An isolated unit. It feels like a lot of artillery out of ammo. 25 units low on ammo. This is really just kind of a thing that I feel like you get a bit of an average for. I'm doing the best that I can to keep my headquarters in supply. I really need to go back and read that chapter for the 14th time or whatever. Looking at my previous turns here. Eesh, yeah. Okay. On turn 2, I had 18 artillery units unavailable and 7 units low on ammo. On turn 3, 19 and 12. And on turn 4, 19 and 21. This time I have 27 and 25. So that's not super. We did have about a third of disrupted units become undisrupted, and we had 2 artillery units set up. Covered losses, and I did get some. Oh, I did get a successful dig in on this AT gun pit, which is great. This place that's threatened by the enemy infantry. I ran into an interesting scenario over here, or tactical situation. So I've got this minefield up this hill, and if I move my engineers at night, they risk disruption. They're morale C. Basically, the question, like, if I can get that minefield cleared, it would be a lot better for attacking in the morning. I don't think I have any other engineers real close by. I do. They're disrupted. I have some more over here, but they won't be able to get to the right position before morning without becoming disrupted. Probably. I could try. And maybe I will. Maybe that's what I'll do. Anyhow, let's take a look at the artillery situation. So one thing that I am kind of bad at is artillery doctrine in terms of basically range management and like having my artillery in the right place at the right time, so to speak. Maximum range here. Here. Okay. Okay. Maximum range. I forget that this existed. Target hexes. I never use this hotkey. It's basically like places that this artillery unit can hit. Okay. So, coming back to kind of the issue at hand, or what I'm bringing up, is that like I need to move my artillery. And I should have started doing this for this artillery, like on my dusk turn. Though there is an argument to just absolutely freaking flatten these guys over here with artillery and let my infantry rest. They're low ammo and a little bit fatigued. Yeah, they're low ammo because my freaking headquarters got obliterated by artillery. Sorry, I keep complaining about that. Anyways, let me move them back. So annoyed by that. All right. So my question is like, do I move my artillery or do I keep it here? And for my artillery that requires setup, I think that the answer, well, these guys, I'm going to leave them in place because they are not close to a road, and I'd prefer not to move them, although I don't think I will be able to meet this. Like all this core artillery over here. I mean, they do have targets, but like they're at their range limit essentially, and I don't want to move them at night because they will possibly become disrupted. But like I also really need them in the morning for my assaults, my morning assault, which I'm hoping is going to be very effective and like punch through in a lot of places. Overall, I haven't really come up with a best practice for how to manage the range on my artillery. What I'm vaguely thinking about right now is some sort of a setup that is like I leapfrog one artillery battalion at a time out of the divisional, and the regimental is its own thing. Like that's usually just a unit or two units, so I can just kind of keep them at close to the regiment. That's reasonable, but the for the divisional guns and like corps guns and army guns, all of that is something that I need to do a better job of paying attention to, and kind of managing, keeping it closer to the front line so that they don't get outpaced by the infantry. And I've played a scenario recently where at a very critical moment I didn't have any artillery to conduct the push that I needed to push, and I was like, crap, I really, I can start moving my artillery now, but by the time that they get to where they need to be, it's going to be too late. So that's just some talk about artillery. Well, I am going to go ahead and actually, let's see. So let me look and see if I have any artillery that's on road. I do. And they're unavailable, so now would be the perfect time to move them. So some of this artillery I will move. Basically, what I need to do is just be really careful about the road limits. And to that effect, I'm going to save the game here because I try really hard to understand this game sometimes, but I feel like sometimes I still make kind of silly mistakes with my movements. Okay, so I'm going to move this HQ out of the way. He's safe to do that. I've got this, the 4th Med 4th Med Regiment? I don't know what med means. I'm going to switch them to... Okay, so they need full turn to move their guns, to limber their artillery, I guess they would say. They will move... So I'm going to move, like, just kind of one gun at a time, shoot some guns. He will maybe move up a little bit closer and move... I don't know. The problem here is that I can move him closer, but if I put him off-road, he risks disruption. Yeah. We'll see what we can maybe do. I guess it doesn't matter that much if they're on the road deployed, if they are, you know, behind the fighting line and aren't going to disrupt logistics along the way. Okay. Good. So I've got some of my artillery limbered up. I don't know if that's how you actually say it. Okay. These guys can hit the paratroopers. Like these units, these artillery units right here are right at capacity. And like I'm looking, like I think I understand how this rule works, is that I've got 24 guns on this road hex here. 24 guns equals 240 men. And the road stacking limit is 350 men. So if I move another 24 guns into that hex and it exceeds the road stacking limit, that means it's not moving by road and the unit risks disruption. So in other words, I basically need to move this artillery up, which I will go ahead and do now. I feel like night is a good time to move artillery. I don't know if that's necessarily the best time to do it, but here we are. Okay. And all of these units have used all, not all of their movement, but enough they can't limber. Unlimber? I don't know. Okay, so looking for more artillery to move. They are not ready. Oh, I want to move my yeah. Okay. Move my headquarters for our 6th 78th Infantry. I gotta get this recon unit out of here. Good news is they're already disrupted, so they can't suffer night disruption. So I moved that artillery. This artillery, they're in such an awkward position. The good news is that road is clear, but the bad news is there's no like connecting road between the two. If it were not night, I don't know why this guy can't then move. Maybe that's just how that unit works, is that does moving on a rail count as road movement? if you're on, like if you're in travel mode, I don't know. One of my viewers can hopefully fill me in. Okay, I'll deploy this unit of artillery. Any other artillery, like I've got this unit here. Yeah, he's got a little bit of range. I'll take him out, so hopefully I'll be set up for morning. He can do some shooting. The 1st Paratrooper Brigade, I think that's what they are. Am I right about that? 1st Parachute Brigade. They don't have artillery. The 1st Infantry does have artillery. They're going to have to move on the road. Well, that's not true. I'm just going to leave them here. I'll look at it again at dawn for these guys, because I feel like I'm making some progress over here, and I might not need that artillery in that position. So there is none over here. Well, that's not true. I'm going to move you from the French Moroccans. And again, I'm checking the road stacking limits. These guys are safe to move. Because the total here would count as 210, which is beneath the road stacking limit. So you can take them out of... I'll move both of these. Actually... No effect. No effect. Okay. Move that. I don't have any other... Let's see, this artillery for the Highlanders is already on the road. So let me get them up. Indian Division... Yeah, I was thinking about this artillery that I have for the Highlanders, both of which are unavailable, so put those both into travel mode and move them one at a time. So I'm going to keep them with the bulk of the regiments of the Highlanders, because the Highlanders on the west over here are supported by the Indian Division, as well as the Indian Division Artillery, as well as the 23rd Armored Brigade? Yes. Okay. And they also have the Army guns over here. Sorry, Corps guns. What else? I don't think I need to move... Well, I would like to move this New Zealand artillery. What are we doing over with these guys? Yeah, see, this is exactly the kind of scenario that I'm talking about. It's nighttime. My artillery is behind the infantry by a significant amount, and I can't move them. They're not on the road, so they're going to be behind the infantry, and I got to scramble to move them up come morning. I guess the good news there is that I've got a lot of other artillery in the area and a lot of overlapping units, so that means that I've got a lot of spotting, so I should be able to hit a lot of targets. Alright. We moved our artillery. Let's shoot some artillery. We'll get it popping over here. Let me make sure I'm shooting at the right targets. Yeah, it's a shame I can't hit these two. Another good example, artillery out of position. It would be really useful to be able to hit those trenches right now. Okay. I'm about to annihilate. Yep, done. So, at least this artillery strike is effective. And now we can hit this these entrenched positions with our regimental artillery. So we'll hit them here. Is that what I want? I think so. No, I'm gonna hit this flank one over here because I want them weaker because I'm gonna focus my infantry fire on the one on the east. So here comes more to the. This is the regimental gun for the 47th. What is this? The 60th regimental. Okay. Weaker gun, but happy to have it. I do have a target for this core artillery, which I'll gladly take advantage of. That's a self-propelled artillery gun, which means that I can move it quickly into position in the morning or even during the next night turn. This is... well, so I have a choice here. Maybe. What unit does this belong to? This is the 133rd Infantry, which I don't have any spotting for right now, so I don't need to bother to move this artillery unit right now. They wouldn't be able to hit anything anyways. For this core artillery over here, I do want to fire. They need to be moved quickly in the morning. So that unit's already disrupted. That unit's already disrupted. This unit is not disrupted. Keep hitting the same German position. So here I have a choice between a bunker and a trench. And bunker's disrupted already. The trench is disrupted. I'm gonna hit the trench. Well, maybe I should be hitting the bunker. I'll stick with the trench. Okay, over here. Got that disruption that I was after. This is that row of 1st Armored Division howitzers, self-propelled. I guess they're howitzers. HMC 105 HMC Heavy Mortar Company. I think that's what that stands for. So these guys are awesome, and they move fast, and they shoot far, and they do decent damage for artillery, so I'm glad that they're on my side. I'll keep hitting this. Luckily, I have spotting on both sides in this particular scenario because some of my infantry from the 1st Armored is out of position. Actually, that gives me an idea about something. I was going to say, if I move this battalion from the 1st Infantry to a spotting position, but A, I don't think they can get to a spotting position, and B, I thought that they were already disrupted, and they're not, and I don't want to risk that, so not for a regimental gun. They're not super powerful. Okay, so here I have the divisional guns for Red Bull, and I think I'm going to hit this trench up here. They haven't gotten any love, and I think that will be beneficial to me. Okay. I don't know why I moved Patton here. I should have kept him on the road so that he could travel, but he's in a pretty good position. Sorry, I got off track. Okay. Hit this bunker too. I don't want to kill this unit and leave these guys with nothing to do. Oh, I'm going to hit this disrupted unit in the open. Wow, they're in a field, but they're really not going to like this. This is my 135th Infantry Artillery. This is my 168th Infantry Regiment Artillery. And they just have one target. Okay, keep firing. It's the 5th. Ah, yes, from the 1st Division. So I really need to work on these trenches here. Clear and clear. Okay, so the advantage that my 1st Battalion of the 26th Infantry Regiment has over here is that they're in the forest. The Germans are better off because they're in a trench, but you take what you can get, so let's go ahead and hit them. All of the 1st Division artillery, or most of it, is unavailable right now. So I'm hitting them with my 16th Infantry Regiment artillery. This is the 18th Infantry Regiment artillery. Hit this unit that's out in the... No... Yeah, I'll hit this unit that's out in the open. So here, we're looking at the 5.5-inch guns from the 5th Corps Artillery. They are operating in the sector of the 78th Infantry, which is has got some targets. These units are both undisrupted, so it's a target rich environment. We'll go ahead and start shooting. I feel like, let's see, comparing which section is more threatened. This unit is the bigger threat. They're both entrenched, but this unit is up to battalion strength, whereas the German unit on the north of the 78th Infantry Division there, they were weaker, and the units there had lower fatigue. So here, searching for undisrupted units. They have mortars up here that are going to get severely annihilated. Everything is disrupted. Ooh, I can hit their... I can lend support to my Moroccan division. I'm all about that. All about that right now. We don't really have any good targets on the front of the 1st British Infantry. So we're going to shoot all of our 1st British Infantry artillery in the sector of the Moroccan division, and that worked. We got the disruption that we were looking for, and a little bit more. Okay, so back to the 78th Infantry. Same target. Not great results. Oh, we got it. We got the disruption. Great. Okay, next target. Aiming for the next disruption here. No luck. Some kills. This is more of the... This is interesting. This looks like Canadian artillery. This is the 5th Corps Artillery. Which is part of 5 Corps. Oh, yes, 5th Corps Artillery. Okay. I have all kinds of paratroopers to shoot at. Are any of them not disrupted? Yes, and these ones are digging in. So, that is our target. We got the disruption. We're actually going to shoot this bunker, because that bunker is going to be high on the target list. I didn't get through. Ah, yes. This super pesky company, or... I don't know what to call it. 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 I don't know what to call it battalion of infantry. This is a motorized infantry, so that automatically means that they're probably of higher quality. They're severely threatening my anti-tank guns. Um, what does PZAOK stand for? I'm going to do this thing. Glossary of terms. Is that the help menu? No. Tunisia. I know I saw a glossary of terms. Yeah, it's in France 40. PZAOK. Army Corps? I don't have AOK in here. So probably Army Corps. Something like that. Anyways. I gotta blast these guys, man. What are they doing over here? They're causing me a lot of grief. Pretty good kills. Everything I have. I'm really upset about this. If they want to come up here and shoot at my AT guns, we're gonna give them some trouble. So here we're at my oh, that's nice. I don't know how I got these disruptions already. Huh. Anyways, here I'm shooting my artillery from the Indian Division. We're shooting at entrenched German units from the, or these are French, Vicky French. Oh, I don't know what this is. The Arab Frou? So I don't know if these guys are going to be super high quality and able to resist me. They're both disrupted already, so that's a fair indication that they will not be holding me up a whole lot. Nonetheless, I have targets. Here I'm on to my, I believe this is my core guns, so really I'm trying to dig in and help the Highlanders over here. I feel like their position is a little precarious. They've got a lot of guys over here, but they're just, this battalion over here on the edge makes me worried. So this is some precision artillery. I don't know if this would actually be something that would ever be done. It seems crazy, but here we're, that was brutal. We annihilated that unit. We've got the Division La Spezia. I believe this is an Italian unit. It's regular infantry. So they're getting some heavy artillery for their evening meal. Some good kills there. I'm firing the 50th Infantry Division guns at entrenched German light infantry 164th Division on the 8th Army front. Okay, same target? Yes. Got a disruption. Fire at this bunker maybe? No effect. No effect. I don't like shooting at bunkers. Well, this is a nice shot from the New Zealand Corps. They're going to help out that tank that got disrupted. Oh, and actually was undisrupted during the turn. So this will be bad for this 164th Light Africa Division half-track recon unit. They do have an improved position, but we got the disruption, so they won't be able to dig in further. And here my New Zealand artillery is, oh, we don't have anything spotted, but they're also out of range. So exactly the point that I was making above was that they can't hit the targets that they need to. Okay, Let me finish this up right quick. We've got artillery fire from the 1st Armored Division, British, not to be confused with American. More of the same, regimental guns. And what is this? This is the, yeah, more divisional guns. Okay, great. So I'm going to go ahead and call it. I'm going to play it the same. I'm going to go ahead and finish out this turn. It's a night turn, so it'll be probably a little bit less eventful, but I'll do that. I'll come back. We'll take a look. We'll run the turn. We'll do artillery, and we'll see how that goes. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope to see you next time.